Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here, and we have got ourselves a little bit of a quick unboxing and a look here. First impressions of something that was sent to me by a really excellent YouTuber and an excellent person, Canadian Cutting Edge, Jake. Hey, thank you so much, buddy, for sending me this Oknife Splint. Actually, this is an Olight made product, and it's actually they've gotten into the EDC knife world. I mean, they're EDC with the flashlights, and I think make a heck of a flashlight. And I guess they decided to jump into the old knife making business, and this is one of their first offerings here, the Oknife Splint. Now, this does come in a couple of different ways. It comes in the G10 version, and it also comes in a titanium version. And this is, I just got it the other day, haven't really carried it, and I just wanted to kind of let you know what I think first off the bat here. The packaging here is really quite nice. It comes in you get yourself a really nice little case here, as well as a cleaning cloth. And then, of course, you've got your Oknife here. It says, what does this say here? It says, each Oknife is finely tuned by hand and expertly engineered for the best possible performance. Stay sharp with your new Oknife, the Oknife team. Oh, what a wonderful little sentiment that these guys sent off. And we'll put that away here, and let's have a look at the knife itself. Now, it's a great little case here. Opens it up, and here we've got ourselves a little bit of a flipper. And now, I do believe that Jake put his edge on this. This thing here is pretty damn razor sharp. And I watched a little bit of Jake's review of this, and he was telling me that, I think he mentioned that the edge was kind of sharp, but it wasn't anything to write home about. But it is sharp right now. He put a Jake edge on there, and it is wickedly sharp. This is like cut time and space sharp right now. So, wonderful contoured G10. Now, the blade itself is N690 steel, stainless steel, which is kind of your budget steel, but more of your kind of a little bit higher end budget steel. I think on par with like 1428N, that kind of, that kind of model. It's not anything that's going to last forever with the edge, but it is, a decent little steel in its own right, stainless. Fully flat ground with a couple of different, swedges here. We've got, they say fully flat ground, but it is a flat ground. There is this little bit of a shoulder here. And then you've also got a little bit of a shoulder back here too as well. And then a little bit of a false swedge here too. So they say fully flat ground, but let's just say it's a really high saber ground. There is no hollow grind on it. So, and it does, seem to slice quite well. I haven't really used it a whole lot. Cut a little bit of stuff with it, but nothing major. Now, the handle length is 3.96 inches, and the blade length is 2.97 inches. So it's just a smidge under 3. And the edge in the blade here is a smidge under 4. So, I mean, it's not a really huge knife. Just to kind of give you an idea of size-wise, here is a Spyderco Domino, and here is a Spyderco Advocate, a couple of excellent Spydercos, and you can see that it is definitely on the smaller side. Now, I did have this here, and I'm gonna go over this here after I'm done talking about this, because this deserves a little bit of a story in its own right. But now, the handle material is G10, and it is kind of full. It's contoured G10, so it's got a radius kind of built into it, which it's fairly comfortable. It's nice and smooth. It's not Vaseline factory grippy, that's for sure, but I like things that are smooth. Sometimes with knives, if you're just using them as kind of fidget spinners or fidget toys, that the smooth G10 I think is perfectly okay. But it's certainly not going to be out there if you're having to have something that you need to have a good positive grip on your knife. This is not the one to kind of do it with. Overall length is 6.93 inches, so sub 7 inches. It does have Olight's lifetime warranty on it, so that's something positive. It is a clip point. It is a liner lock with, I'm going to say, the first 30% lockup, so there is a little bit of room to travel. There is no side-to-side motion or any up and down motion. It does seem like it's fairly solid for such a light blade. And speaking of light, it's actually 2.83 ounces, so it is sub 3 ounce, and you can tell, I mean, it is extremely lightweight. Now, it is a flipper, and there is a couple of different ways to open it up. Now, as far as the flipping is concerned, it rockets out. There's no problem. It does have almost like a little bit of a thumb hole there, oblong thumb hole, plus this little bit of a step here too as well, kind of catches your thumb, and it allows you to open it there too as well. You can do the old Spidey flick, which of course I'm going to screw up on camera, but it does Spidey flick, and there is almost like here, it's like a front flipper too as well. But with the way my hands are so big and this knife is so small, I really have a hard time opening it that way. It's not something that's very comfortable for me at all. I mean, by far the easiest way to open this is just with the flipper action on it. Now that is, it seems like it's all right to flipper, but the other ways are a little bit iffy based upon how small it is and how big my kind of hands are. You can see here that I've got double XL hands, and this has got some challenges fitting comfortably. Not only the length, I mean, the length seems to be all right. It seems to be more or less the entire kind of the girth of it. Like, it doesn't fill my hand very well. Now, of course, you've also got some really, really nice blue accents here in the pivot, and a really, really nice deep carry clip on it. It does have open flow through construction here with a couple of standoffs on the back. There is no lanyard hole, which is a definite negative for me because I love putting my lanyards on there. But I suppose you could perhaps tie it at the end post there if you're definitely in need of a lanyard, or even put it on top of this clip here. I never like tying a lanyard to a clip. It's just one of the things that drive me crazy. So that is kind of my first impressions of this. I am going to carry this for a bit, and then I will give you a full and complete review of this in the coming weeks to go. And all right, so let's put this away, and I wanted to talk to you also here about this Spyderco Domino. Now, I did originally purchase this Domino, pre-owned of course. It was absolutely mint, and then it was going to be kind of a catch and release type thing. I bought it, I used it, and I thought, well, I'll pass it along to somebody else, I'll put it up for sale, and I did, and I just I used it for those kind of couple of weeks before I reviewed it, and I just wasn't really completely. I mean, it was okay, but I was just not in love with the knife to the fact that the point that I wanted to put it in my collection. And then something happened, because I was really surprised that I wasn't completely blown away by this knife right off the bat, because it is very, very similar to the Sage, other than it's a little bit larger than the Sage. And I was like, the Sage, I put it in my hand, and I was blown away by that knife, and I was expecting a similar feel with this, and I didn't get it. I mean, it was very confident right around the whole thing. I mean, it had a great edge on it. It had great flipping action. It had, great ergonomics, nice leaf-shaped, fully flat blade. I mean, even this, I don't mind this at all. There's a red and a blue version, which I think I liked a little bit more, but this is really, really grown on me. This kind of, people call it the Cosby sweater pattern carbon fiber, but it grew on me. This one has a deep clip that's not a factory Spyderco clip, but it is, a liner lock with full titanium, and I just thought it should have hit me a whole lot more. But then I had a few bites on it, and then I just took it off for sale because I started to carry it more and more and more, and it really stayed in my pocket for a long time. And then as I used it more and more and more, I really, really liked this, and so much so that I probably would have done a way better review on it, been a way more excited if I had reviewed this, I think, after carrying it for maybe 2 months. Because the more and more I carry this knife, the more I like it, and the less I want to sell it. And as a matter of fact, I've completely taken it off for sale. And that's just a little bit of a cautionary tale that, yes, I mean, we are YouTubers who review knives, no, certainly not for a living, but just to have fun and pass along that knowledge, because a lot of people may not be able to be in the position to be able to get so many knives in their hands. And it just goes to show you that we are not infallible. I would recommend this knife every day and twice on Sundays now, a whole lot more than I would have 2 months ago. The ergonomics on here are excellent. The flipping action, despite having the really, really thin washers on there, that is an issue with Spyderco for a little bit until they changed it. Despite that fact, the flipping action on this is still excellent. The fit and finish is tremendous on this knife. The ergonomics are wonderful. I have such a great comfort putting this knife in my hand. Inside my pocket, it rides like a dream. It's not so crazy murdery looking that if you pulled it out in an office, somebody would freak out on it. But it also has a little bit of a wow factor that, I actually had a few people said, hey, what's that? And they know I'm into knives, and they said, oh, that's pretty nice. And they're right. It is pretty damn nice. And I would probably give this a full 1.5 higher to, I think I gave this knife about a 7.5 when I first reviewed it. And I would give this knife, probably a 9. I think if you took away this bad washer kind of idea, and I just think it is so much better of a knife than when I first reviewed it. I'm so happy that I ended up keeping this knife that I didn't sell it the very next day, because I would have regretted it in time. And this one is going to stay in the collection for quite some time. Unless somebody phones you up and says, hey, I'll give you $1 million for that Spyderco Domino. And then I'll say, okay, well, Domino, see ya. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed what you heard here. And look forward to this review coming up of this Oknife Splint coming up. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging around here, talking to me to the very, very end. Now, please, please, if you like what you saw, give me the thumbs up, as well as subscribe. And don't forget to push that little notification button. Anytime I come up with something new, you'll get notified. And you'll be the first one to watch it and comment. Now, if you guys have got your own little Oknife, let me hear what you think about it in the comments. And going forward. All right, please, please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.